the world and in India and the RBI, what does the market do over the near term?
I think, what market has been witnessing the volatility of late, despite setting in of a very good monsoon and setting the ground for a good crop season to start with, probably market will continue to witness good volatility. I think that will continue for next couple of more months before we see either side some direction. That's what is the feeling we are having at the moment, and we feel that something like this 5,700 to maybe 6,000 could be a broader range in which markets will continue to hover around.
What are you expecting over the next 2 days from, as an Indian market watcher? I mean, you would be keeping a close eye on what happens as far as the Fed decision is concerned.
I would think that, to a very good extent, the possible fears of any withdrawal or statements on future withdrawals are being viewed or considered in this risen volatility in the markets, and also some flows, the way they are behaving. So I would somehow feel that there could not be something hugely negative to take markets below a particular level based on the statements by Fed. That's what our feeling is currently.
Amisha, lots happening on specific names and specific sectors as well. I mean, can't help but speak about what does one do with banks, because yesterday we were talking to a lot of banking voices as well, and they had to say that transmission is not happening. The CRR cuts are not coming through. The certainty is not known on what happens with the policy next. What does one do? I mean, in the whole private bank versus PSU banks debate. I mean, is there a debate in the first place, or are you just avoiding all of these stocks completely?
No. They being 30% of Nifty, it's very difficult to avoid the sector at all. It's not possible. But also I feel that, be it the entire financial segment, be it even auto, which is in the full grip of a slowdown, the way numbers are falling. And I think some of these numbers will keep showing for next 2 quarters for sure. And the markets, because of which, will remain confused whether to look at a slight macro which may turn from a complete going negative to stabilizing, or look at some of these numbers which are still in extreme pain. So that is why we feel markets would be volatile. But coming to particularly financials, we feel that the key problem will continue to be where to get the credit growth from, and when your balance sheet is not expanding and asset quality is still deteriorating, pension and other liabilities are there, how to and where to find a solace from for profitability. But within that, we feel that there are select pockets within private banks like Yes or ING, or within the public space, some of the banks now which are at 0.775 price to book. So as a combination of that, we feel that one needs to be still there in financials, and as the economy turns, this will probably be the first sector to turn.
Well, the last 3 years or 4 years, Amisha, and I don't blame anybody, but the last 3 or 4 years, most people have been thinking of the infrastructure names as the dark horse idea, and every year they have somehow only gone lower from the levels that they used to trade at the start of the year. It's been very disappointing. I mean, does one just give up on those names and just wait for them to come up on their own, or do you even cherry pick or do bottom hunting in that pocket?
See, the levels at which they are currently, some of these infrastructure names, are probably showing that equity holders have already lost everything, and the market caps are not even 10% of their top line, or not even 5% of their order book. So from a peak of 1:1 kind of market cap to sales, so to a great extent prices are reflecting that these people, a lot of them or few of them, have chances of going under, and probably debt will recover but equity will have nothing to linger on to. But from current levels, still to be on a safer side, we still feel Larsen is the first choice one needs to make as the competition dies down or finds it very troublesome to survive and grow or execute orders because of even working capital constraints. Larsen will be a beneficiary. That is on one side. But on the other side, we feel some of the owners have assets. So it may take time, but ultimately assets will realize and their debts are lower than the value of their assets. So couple of select stocks out of them could be dark horses, but time factor is a big question mark, and that call the investor will have to take if he has sufficient patience.
Before we let you go, Amisha, what would be your top 3 ideas at this point?
I think broadly we like Larsen from large cap at the moment, and we are factoring in some investments in from oil and gas. We are factoring in some investments happening where Larsen would win from Middle East. We are factoring in some recovery in the cash contract side of some of the infrastructure domestically. And putting all these together, we still feel at about 10.5, 11 times X of subsidiary value, Larsen looks reasonably okay. Reasonably good at current level. We like, within the private banking space, Yes and ING Vysya. We feel they still have scope to deliver good returns. And in the net of, in a slightly cyclical side, I would say that we continue to like telco.
Okay. That's what we wanted to hear, Amisha. Thanks so much. Always appreciate you taking the time out and being with us, more so on this week. Thanks for being with us in today's show. That's Amisha Vora from